Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Madison. I am not Charles McLymans. Oh, boo, I'm getting boos. I'm getting some. Y'all, this is good. Well, anyway, I'm President-elect Jason Ilstrup. We got a mixed crowd here about me being up here this week. Well, we won't. We're going to be very excited about our great speakers we have today. Ann and Josh Thundercloud will be our speakers who will talk about the meaning and the importance of the Pow-Wow to Native Americans. We're excited to hear their presentation. Every community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed to their hopes, dreams, and energy to make the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes for hope of a better life. Some have lived on this land for more than generations that can be counted. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connections across all barriers of heritage and difference. Land acknowledgements have been used by Native peoples and more recently non-Native peoples to recognize Indigenous peoples who were originally stewards of this land on which we now live. This historical, cultural, and spiritual context is important to know. Along with the acknowledgement, an ongoing action plan of commitment to supporting Indigenous people, both individually and as a club, is of the utmost importance. Therefore, today and every day, we acknowledge the Rotary Club of Madison occupies the ancestral land of the Ho-Chunk Nation, a place the nation has called Dejop since time immemorial. In the 1832 treaty, the Ho-Chunk were forced to cede this territory. Decades of ethnic cleansing followed with both federal and state government repeatedly, but unsuccessfully sought to forcibly remove the Ho-Chunk from Wisconsin. We acknowledge the circumstances that led to the forced removal of the Ho-Chunk people and honor their ongoing legacy of resistance and resilience. This history of colonization informs us as we pledge to continue learning much better support for Indigenous people to build a collaborative future. We recognize and respect the inherent sovereignty of the Ho-Chunk Nation and other 11 Native nations with boundaries in the state of Wisconsin. Today's meeting is brought to you by Jeff Bordeaux and the team at Old National Bank, a bank that invests their time, energy, and expertise so that their clients and communities thrive. Jeff is a community banking market manager for Old National Bank. He joined the club earlier this year and is active in the Golf and Veterans Fellowship groups. We thank Jeff and Old National for their sponsor for today's lunch. Thank you, Jeff. All right, for our opening today, we're going to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we're going to hear from Josh Thundercloud, who will perform the Ho-Chunk National Anthem. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please welcome Josh Thundercloud. Thank you, Ann and Josh. Please be seated. We're going to start with guest introductions, and Julie Bennett will now introduce our guests. Welcome, Julie.
Good afternoon. As I announce your name, please stand and be recognized. We'll recognize you all at the end, so please remain standing until I have recognized everyone. Lawrence Baca, guest of James Ty. Sarah Lemieux White Eagle, guest of James Ty. Renee Buchanan, guest of Joyce Bromley. Kelly Keenan, guest of Melinda Heinrichs. Bob Casperson, guest of Michelle McGrath. John Ward, visiting Rotarian from Milwaukee. Joan Ballweg, guest of Ted Ballweg. Veronique Amak, guest of Ted Ballweg and visiting Rotarian from Corsica. And Stefan Amak, visiting from Corsica and guest of Ted Ballweg. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julie, and welcome to all of our guests of the Rotary Club of Madison. Next up, we have our moment of gratitude. Today's Rotary moment of gratitude is going to be presented by Rhonda Adams. Rhonda has been a member of our club since 2021 and is the executive director of the River Food Pantry. She'll now come up and provide her moment of gratitude. Welcome, Rhonda.
Thank you. Thank you. On our Rotary website, it says, "Together we connect, inspire, empower, and learn," and that is so very true. I'm grateful for the opportunities that Rotary has given me since I joined over 2.5 years ago. Many of you know that our current president, who is not here today, Charles McClymans, was my predecessor at the River Food Pantry. And it was a few months after I left that Charles asked if I'd be interested in becoming a member of the largest Rotary group in the world, and it was right here in Madison. This was his Rotary group. Well, I got very busy as a new executive director, and I really didn't think about it much. A few months later, Charles, if anybody knows how Charles can be persistent, and hopefully he's listening to the recorded version of this at some point, but he asked me again. He told me that I was going to love being a Rotarian and the wonderful people that made up the downtown Rotary group, and that he was going to send me an application, but honestly, I didn't take time to look at it. A third time, Charles approached me about Rotary, and he told me that he filled out the application for me, and that I would thank him later. So I do publicly thank Charles McClymans for being responsible for me being a Rotarian, and I'm very grateful for Charles. I've heard it said that a Rotary membership opens up a world of opportunity, and that is very true. Rotary has given me an opportunity to connect with people I probably wouldn't have been able to otherwise. For the conversations at the button box, the buffet line, sitting and having lunch with someone, to listen to interesting people, as we're going to hear today with our speaker. There's so many people that have inspired me in the many ways that I've been here as a Rotarian in my short 2.5 years. Earlier this year, I nominated some volunteers for the Rotary Senior Service Award, and I was grateful for that opportunity to be able to publicly thank a husband and wife team that are doing great things in our community. Rotary helped me to recognize them, and they were so proud for the invitation to come here and be recognized in front of our club. I'm also grateful that because of this club, 2 board members are now at the River because of their either one presenting and being a sponsor, and I connected with them after them speaking. Another one was a new member, and I approached them afterwards, and they said yes to becoming a member of the River Food Pantry Board of Directors. And then I appreciate the opportunity to be involved for the relationships I've built and am still building with the veterans in this group. I'm now proud to be co-chair of the Veterans Fellowship Group this year and also a member of the Rotary Veterans Assistance Grant Committee. This is a picture yesterday of some veterans and a few guests and myself who got a rare opportunity to see the F-35s up close and personal at Truax, to learn more about them, and to walk out near the airstrip to watch them take off. And yes, whoever said, yeah, it was beyond our expectations. And I got connected with someone that I didn't know was related to me through my very first Veterans Fellowship group, and that was thanks to Ellis Waller, who had that at the Maple Bluff Country Club, and I learned that Jerry Ring and I are cousins, so thank you for that, Ellis. So lastly, Rotary gives a sense of belonging, which is a basic human need that involves feeling accepted by others and connected to something outside of yourself. Last week, I zeroed in on the Service Above Self banner over here, which reads, a desire to meet exciting people, a love for learning, an eagerness to take leadership to the next step, and a drive to change the world. I'm very grateful to be a very small part of this wonderful group of people that truly does put service above self.
Thank you, Rhonda, very much. You are certainly someone that has put service above self your entire career. Thank you for your service to our country and continue to our community at the River Food Pantry. And I do like Charles's membership technique. I'm just going to start filling out membership applications for random people. We'll get over 500, no problem at all. Hopefully the check's clear. All right. Speaking of, we have 4 new members. This is a fantastic group of new members. All the members are fantastic, but this is a particularly fantastic group. We're going to welcome them here to the club. First up, we have Paul Gessner. Please stand with your sponsor, Neil Fallbrock. Paul has been loaned the classification of education as the president of the Edgewood Campus School. He is a former Rotarian in Athens, Georgia from 2022 to 2023. He was born in Milwaukee and makes his home with his wife, Bonnie, in Oregon. Paul holds a bachelor's degree in the broad field social studies, history, secondary education, and a master's degree in educational leadership from Cardinal Stritch University. He's currently working on a doctorate degree at Edgewood College. Paul is a registered partner in mission with the Enrollment Advancement Leadership Institute. He enjoys spending time with his family and friends, playing sheep's head and antiquing. Welcome, Paul. Please remain standing. Next up, we have Amanda Jabs, and her sponsors, Scott Hammerson and Jason Hillstrip. That's me. Yeah, okay, great. Amanda has been loaned the classification of retail services and products. Amanda is a seasoned financial leader and entrepreneur with over 15 years of restaurant accounting experience. She currently serves as a CFO and partner at Food Fight, Inc. Amanda excels in strategic financial direction, innovation, and mentorship. She grew up in Minnesota. Are you a Vikings fan? Oh. That did not end as well as I thought it was going to. I am. We don't have a quarterback. Anyone want to play quarterback? She grew up in Minnesota and currently resides in Madison with her husband, Dustin, and child, Nolan. Amanda is an active board member at the Center for Community Stewardship, a Madison-based nonprofit supporting local nonprofits as fiscal sponsor. She collaborates with fellow financial leaders through Financial Executives International, the Madison chapter. And beyond work, she enjoys trying new restaurants, that's good, right? And spending time with her family. Welcome, Amanda. Please stay standing. Next up, we have Corey Mariano. Please stand with your sponsor, Peter Gray. Corey has been loaned the classification of community services and is the founder of Black Men Coalition of Dane County. He was born in Chicago, Illinois, and makes his home in Sun Prairie with his partner, Ashanti Collier Slayton. He has 5 children. Corey received the Commitment to Social Justice Hero Award from the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County in 2021. He serves on the board of Ex-Incarcerated People Organizing and is a member of the Madison chapter of Leadership Greater Madison Alumni Association. Corey enjoys learning and helping others. Welcome, Corey. Please remain standing. And finally, will Jennifer Wending and her husband, Bob, please stand. Jennifer is rejoining our club today. She was loaned the classification of Business Services, Supply, and Technology and is principal at Tapestry Talent Search and Consulting. She's a former member of our club from 2016 to 2020, and we came in together in April of 2016, so it's good to see you again. She was born in Chicago, Illinois. Jennifer and Bob have 3 adult children and live in Madison. She holds a BA degree in journalism from UW-Madison. She also holds certificates in French language and literature from the Sorbonne and is certified Hogan Assessment Consultant. She is serving a second term on the board of Tempo as networking chair and recently served 2 terms on the board of the Forward Theater Company. Jennifer volunteers at several memory care facilities in Madison, leading sing-alongs with a very She says mediocre band on guitars, trombone, and kazoo. All right, she enjoys spending time with her family and friends, making music, traveling, and downhill skiing. Please join me in welcoming these awesome new 4 members to the Rotary Club of Madison. It's that time of the year. Are we ready for the fund drive? And Charles Tubbs is going to put fun in the fund drive. That coat is very nice, by the way. Very nice. Can I borrow it sometime?
Yes, sir.
All right. Welcome, Charles Tubbs.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Keep your seats. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Thank you. And again, I'm very humbled to be here and have the responsibility of chairing the fund committee. Been a little tough day today, but I'm getting off to a good start now that I'm here with a bunch of our friends. I spent most of the morning on the phone with people around the country, around the world, talking about their fears, especially our Jewish community, brothers and sisters, their fears, as well as the school violence that's going on. So it was kind of a downer for a morning, but looking out, seeing all these beautiful faces and all these people who are willing to give for a good cause. Pardon me? How about now? Okay. Do I have to repeat all that again? Okay. But I'm here again, getting an opportunity to see everyone here, and hopefully everyone will be willing to give 100% from their heart for a good cause to serve all of our people. I'm going to give you a quick update on this year's Madison Rotary Foundation Drive Fund, which started last week. And yes, it's me again, and you'll be looking at me for the next couple months unless you decide to pay up quick. As of yesterday, there was 49 members who made gifts. We raised $22,110 towards our $135,000 goal. What do you think about this year trying to make it 100% giving? Let's give it. I think we can do it as a team. As our annual fund drive provides much needed grants to organizations in our community who are helping us make a difference. Our foundation just approved two new large impact educational grants. We're going to hear more about them next week. So if we can continue to distribute meaningful gifts to Madison, we need to continue to do our support. Please fill out the pledges, forms received last week in the mail from the Rotary office. There's also some extra ones on the back table. Pick up one on the way out. You know, again, as I mentioned earlier, as I stepped up, we're living in some very difficult, challenging, tough times. People are hurting. People need help. People are not as fortunate as you and I. So let's give from our heart. Let's remember that anyone can fall on bad times and bad luck at any given time, any one of us. So we give from our heart and we give willingly. We're going to make a difference in our community. Let's look forward to next week, and we'll bring you up to date on the grants and on next Wednesday. So in closing, again, I ask you to give from your heart. Our people need us. Thank you.
Okay, baby, awesome. Let's do it. I think we're going to get to 100%. Quick announcement that our Rotary Ethics Symposium Planning Committee is holding their ROTARY Ethical Decision Making Workshop for Rotarians. Participants will learn the framework of ethical decision making and will use at our annual Rotary Ethics Symposium for Dane County High School students, and it's something you can use daily in your own personal and professional lives. If you'd like to attend one of the 90-minute sessions, pick up a green flyer on the table and sign up on one of the dates and drop it off by the button box as you leave today's meeting. All right, next up, we have director nominees. Next week is a big week. Big week with new directors, potentially. Our Rotary Club has a board of directors that is made up of 12 members who serve 2-year staggered terms. And our most immediate past president, Paul Hoffman, who's here today, I think, President Hoffman, serves a 1-year term. Our current board members are Maria Alvarez-Strode, Brian Chan, Mary Donahue, Anthony Gray, Mark Green, Scott Hammerson, Paul Hoffman, Jason Elstrup, Mike McKay, Elaine Mishler, Casey Elkers, Maggie Porter-Kratz, and Jen Savino. Let's give a round of applause to those that are serving on the board. Since it's 2-year staggered terms, 6 of us are leaving, but I guess I'm not because I'm president-elect. So I'll be on for the next 32 years, I think it is. So Mary, Anthony, Mark, not me, Casey, and Jen will be ending their term on June 30th. I want to say I've been with them. That's my class. It's an extra special group, so fantastic work. Next Wednesday, we will elect 6 new board members to replace those on the outgoing board. The director nominating committee has a list of things to review as candidates to be considered, such as, has a member served as a chair of a committee or a fellowship group? Have they supported our annual fund drive? Do they attend weekly meetings regularly? So that's how we found this list. This year, the nominating committee reviewed over 50 names, and I'm pleased to introduce 12 nominees on next week's ballot. The following members have agreed to place their names in nomination: Rhonda Adams, Sarah Eskrich, Aurelia Estrada, Laura Gallagher, Mike Getzler, Linda Ketchum, Janet Barino, Robert Reed, Julie Swenson, Gary Tree, Alex Vatani, and Bob Winding. Next Wednesday, November 8th, the membership will select 6 of these leaders to join the board for a 2-year term beginning July 1. The 12 nominees represent the future leaders of this club, and any combination of the 6 will serve our club well for the next 2 years. Thanks again to the 12 nominees who have agreed to place their names in nomination this year, and will be seeking a vote of our members at Rotary next Wednesday. Anyone in attendance who can't, anyone not in attendance will receive an electronic ballot that afternoon, so members can vote that way as well. Thank you again for your willingness to serve. All right, we got birthdays. We have birthdays celebrated with a spit of humor and compliments Rotary. We also encourage our members to give a gift to the Foundation's Community Grants Endowment Fund that represents their age, rounded up to 100. All right, October 30th, past president Jason Barron. October 30th, Bradley Hutter. October 31st, Chris Ivanoff. November 1st, Joy Gander. November 2nd, Brian Anderson. November 2nd, Peter Covey. November 2nd, Eric Krieghoff. November 2nd, Victor Rodriguez. That's a lot on one day. Is that the most, Pat? It's got to be the most. Nobody cares. That joke did not fly. All right. Thanks to our celebrants for their contributions to the Madison Rotary Club Foundation's Grant Endowment Fund. Please join me as we sing Happy Birthday. Hello, Casey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Casey. All right, members in the news. We've got several members. I think you all are in the news all the time, but we've chosen a couple here. Congratulations to Joy Cardine, who was inducted into the Milwaukee Press Club's Media Hall of Fame last month. Congratulations. And to Christy Goforth, who was quoted in Madison365.com in an article about her organization sending 500 bikes to Ghana. Amazing. And congratulations to Tara Grays, who is one of this year's Young Professional Athena Award nominees. This is something to celebrate here in our club. Congratulations to all those in the news. Oh, our Corsican, our Rotarians from Corsica's birthday is tomorrow as well, so we'll add them to the list. Yes. Thank you, Connor. That was very service above self. I appreciate that. All right, on to the program. Our speakers today are Ann Thundercloud and her brother Josh Thundercloud, and they are members of the Ho-Chunk Nation. Josh has been a singer for over 40 years. Ann is a singer and dancer who has been performing with her brother and a family across the United States also for over 40 years. Ann is also a public relations consultant and chef apprentice at Wild Berries, a nonprofit organization specializing in indigenous foods. Today, Ann is going to provide us with an introduction to Native American Pow-Wows. Josh will explain the importance of the drum beat, which is considered the heartbeat of Mother Earth. We look forward to listening to the sounds of the drum as the Thunderclouds share their stories about Pow-Wows and their deeper meaning to Native Americans. We made a contribution to the Rotary International Polio Plus Fund as a way to say thank you for speaking with us today. I also wanted to mention that we'll have time for Q&A with our speakers at the end, if time allows, so please do wait for the microphone if you have a question. Let's welcome Ann and Josh Thundercloud to our podium.
Good afternoon. I'm Ann. Nice to meet you all. Thanks for coming and thanks for having me. I'm glad for the introduction, and I'm also glad to be invited by my friend Joy Cardine. And actually, Joy and I met years ago when she was still working with WPR, and she had asked me to appear on her show to describe the importance of Native American powwows to the audience, more so about what are the do's and don'ts? Is it a sacred ceremony? What exactly is it? Are non-natives invited to come to these powwows? Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry about that. Hope you can hear me fine. I mean, actually, I don't even really need this because Ho-Chunk people are called people of the big voice or people of the sacred language. So it's kind of a joke, you know. You notice my brother and I didn't really need a microphone when we sang. Oh, and really quick, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I would like to acknowledge one of our Ho-Chunk Nation legislators, Sarah Lemieux. An elected official from the Ho-Chunk Nation. So sorry to put you on the spot. I just didn't want to push that past while we're here. So I would like to talk about the introduction to Native American powwows, and specifically for Ho-Chunk people, because my brother and I are Ho-Chunk. We're not mixed, so I don't know about the other tribes other than having visited a few of them. So then we are familiar with some different dances that go along. Oops, wrong way. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's start with what is a powwow. And I'm going to talk about the importance of powwows from my perspective as a Ho-Chunk member. The Ho-Chunk people, as you know, are originally from here in Wisconsin. We've been removed several times out of our ancestral land by the federal government. And each time we kept returning back to our lands. And half of our tribe stayed in Nebraska in the 1800s, and they're known as the Winnebago tribe of Nebraska. And coincidentally, I also happen to be a graduate from Winnebago High School. So I grew up kind of half there and half here, but more so up here in Wisconsin. So back in like 1876, on the image on the right-hand side, you'll see that there's a seated gentleman, and he's wearing a turban on his head and with an eagle feather. And he was called Chief Little Priest. And as they took off to go to war, and when they returned, there was a great celebration when they returned. And you'll see the people seated on the left-hand side. So what we do is they're basically celebrating our warriors. I don't know if it's well known, but the Native Americans of this country are the largest serving race per capita in the armed forces, and we're very proud of that. And it's something that we continue to do and continue to have our children, our families participate in enlisting in the armed forces. So basically, these powwows are made for the warriors, and we celebrate them. There are songs that are sung in their honor, and there are many dances that are danced in their honor. So back in the 1800s in Nebraska, they started to make it an annual event, that every time, that same time of year when the celebration was celebrated, they started to commemorate that and have it every year. And It's also known as the oldest powwow in North America, and that happens in the last weekend of July in Winnebago, Nebraska. And so, next one. I don't know which way do I point? Oh, I'm sorry. I knew I'd get it eventually. Okay, so hopefully you can see the images here just a little bit, present day, traditional powwows. And I'm just gonna go, oh, I can't. I'm gonna have to yell if I do. Okay, on the top there, you'll see that there's a gentleman and he's carrying an eagle feather staff. And then behind are the American flags, the Ho-Chunk Nation flag, each of the flags representing the armed forces, and there's also a POW flag. So our veterans are the ones that bring these in first. And there's special songs that are sung that every one of them knows them, and it's all about our men and women that serve in the armed forces these days. So back in the day, it would have been more so about the males, and these days, there's a lot of women that have risen to enter in combat and earn Purple Hearts, things of that nature, and so they've risen to the level of the male warriors. And on the bottom picture, then you'll see that there's in the middle, that's my mother, and also the gentleman on the left there. So traditional powwows are when it's all for gathering for fun and camaraderie and friendship and renewing friendships, creating new friendships, and just dedicating ourselves to having fun, getting all together and celebrating. Next. Ooh. On the top, you'll see that there's a Ho-Chunk Nation flag. This is based in Black River Falls, which is our headquarters, just 2 hours north of here on the interstate. And we have powwows every year, annually on Memorial Day weekend, also Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. Day, which others know as the 4th of July. We claim that date as our own and renamed it in honor of a Congressional Medal of Honor winner, Corporal Mitchell Red Cloud Jr. And so you'll see there, it's not really a contest, but yeah, I guess it is. Okay, so if you could see, there's young gals and they're wearing crowns and they're wearing sashes, so it's really similar to Miss Wisconsin, Miss Universe, those things. Young ladies compete for their dancing, their knowledge of their culture, the things that we exemplify that are important to us about adhering to our traditions, how well you dance, how well you conduct yourself, your knowledge of our culture, and how well you can represent us. And then these days they call them braves. So there's, ambassadors, young men that win the same thing too. So then they'll go up here in parades and different events. And right now I'm really proud to say that I have a granddaughter that is in Winnebago, Nebraska, and she's representing the Harvest Powwow down there. And I was so pleased to find out that she has gone to a youth leadership conference, and rather than appearing in her regular attire, she's shown up wearing her crown and her sash just to represent who. And those are the types of things that we do as parents, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, is we try to instill the things that we were taught when we were younger, and it's our duty to pass those on to the youth so that we can carry on our traditions. So these young folks will lead after the veterans come in first, then our royalties, what we call them, will come in, and then the rest of the dancers will come in. And if you look on the bottom left hand there, you'll see some gentlemen surrounding the drum, and then behind them you can see that there are people that are holding on to these score sheets, tabulation sheets. And when we have contest powwows, they're a little bit different than the traditional ones. What we're doing there is you can be judged upon your singing. So all these little drum groups will come in from all across the United States, and they'll come in and they'll be judged upon their I don't know, my brother can probably explain it better. And I just want to let you folks know that there are different roles that we have for us. As a female, I'm able to talk about the things that affect women and the things that we're in charge of. And the same thing goes for men. And within the Ho-Chunk culture, the drum is for the males, and it's for them to speak about. So that's why I invited my little brother. Believe it or not, he's my little brother. My baby brother. And so he can describe a little bit more later on when we get to the singing portion of it. And so then and you know what's really crazy is that these days you can win up to, a drum group can win up to $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 while they're competing out in the powwow circuit. Otherwise, you know, some other places are a little bit more humble and might have smaller purses that, you know, people can compete and win. And then on the right-hand side, there's yours truly in the dress. And I just wanted my picture taken with all these guys, okay? That's really what happened. Last summer I was competing at, no, it was a traditional powwow, but this, they have these things called specials. So sometimes instead of the whole powwow being all about competition and you go in there by your category, you'll see that these gentlemen, that's the woodland style of dancing. So a lot of the people that are indigenous to Wisconsin, they're going to gear towards that style. And the same thing with my attire that you see me wearing in there. That's a woodland style and traditional Ho-Chunk style. And just for fun, they said, okay, we want to have a contest. Let's pit the males against the females. So I'm like, okay, bring it on. Yeah, I'm not afraid of men. In fact, I challenged them. Let's do this. And so they had women and males all out there dancing. And then they'd come out, they had a certain amount of judges, or maybe it might go by the crowd's applause when they come out. So it came down to 4 women and 4 men. And so there's me and the 4 men that are left in the contest. And at the end, we're all duking it out. You know, they're dancing their styles, and I'm dancing my style. And it was a lot of fun. And unfortunately, I didn't win, but that's all right. I had fun nonetheless. So it just goes to show, you know, there's different ones. You know, some people go all across the country and they compete all year round. Some people, they're professional dancers. And then there's some of us that just enjoy dancing. And one of the things that I was taught when I was younger was that you're supposed to dance for the people. You're supposed to dance for the people that can no longer dance. Maybe they're too elderly, maybe they're sickly, any number of things. Another thing is they could be in mourn. Sometimes when you're in mourning, you're supposed to stay home. You're supposed to be more meek. You're supposed to recognize that time while you're in mourning. And I remember specifically, there was one time I was in Nebraska, and there's this Vietnam veteran that I know, and his family song came on, and I could see that he was feeling like really bad that he was trying to adhere to our culture and not enter the arena, but at the same time, that was his family song. And I saw him standing outside the arena, so I went up to him and I said, I'm going to dance for you, okay? And he said, okay. So I went out there and I danced extra hard because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to recognize our warriors, we're supposed to respect them, and that's the main reason we're out there, is we're paying tribute to our warriors. So that's essentially, that's what we're out there doing. Although over time, things change and it becomes more competitive and, you know, this and that. But Josh and I were raised in a more traditional household, so we try to adhere to those things. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Oh, okay. So now we're getting towards some online resources. In case any of you folks might be interested in learning a little bit more, the more contemporary places that you can go are Pow-Wows.com, and you'll have to make sure that you don't put a hyphen in between the pow and the wow. And from there, they have all kinds of videos, they have live streaming, so like there's really large powwows that they have that happen annually, and they'll live stream them, so you can watch the powwows that are going on there 24/7, you know, the whole, not 24/7, but usually there's an afternoon session, and then there's also an evening session. Also here in Wisconsin, there's NATOW.org, and that's Native American Tourism of Wisconsin, of which I am a partner of NATOW. I believe in Native American tourism. I believe in supporting our businesses. I believe in retaining and promoting our culture. So that's why I want to make sure that you guys can go there. There's a powwow season that's usually, I want to say like maybe April through November. And then the winter months are a little bit, there's quite a few less. And sometimes they have them for New Year's Eve. Sometimes they have them for just special purposes, because I think things really changed during COVID. A lot of people, we weren't able to join and be together, and we were far apart. And so now we're glad that we're able to get back out there and hug one another, dance with one another, and it's things have changed, but they're getting back to normal, and it's a lot of fun to be able to get back out there with our people. Same thing with YouTube. You can go to YouTube and you can Google or search, you know, any certain tribe, or just powwow or Wisconsin or Ho-Chunk or Menominee, any one of them, and find stories. You can also see videos of those, and the same thing with TikTok. I have some pretty good friends that I've made just by meeting them through TikTok and watching their work, and invited them this past summer to Nebraska so that they could come and live stream and make videos of the powwow that we have down there. And also, you might want to visit the official tribal websites of each individual nation that we have here in Wisconsin, or if you're traveling elsewhere, you can look up the local websites for the tribes. And I would encourage you to make sure that they are valid, real websites, and authentic, real people, because we run into a problem with people. Lately, they're calling them pretendians, people that are putting forth that they are Native American when in fact they have absolutely no DNA related to us. And it's good, I think, that you basically vet your sources and where you're going to, so that you find out that they are actual real people with real ties and real, genuine, authentic information and skills and songs and things that they want to share. So, that's about the end of that. Oops. And I had one more thing that was just basically, oh, I lost it. Basically, the last slide was about, do you have any questions? And please, feel free, nothing's, there are no dumb questions, and we all know that. Anybody? Right there. Yes, ma'am.
There's usually a mic.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were not.
Oh, afterwards? Okay. Okay, all right. So, I've invited my little brother to join me, because I just thought it would be more authentic rather than having a recording, so that you had just kind of a little bit more idea of what transpires while we're out there. So I'd like to hand things over to my little brother, Josh.
Good afternoon again. So my sister was talking about
Make sure folks can hear you, and also on the recording.
responsibilities and roles within each gender group, and talking about the drum kind of being a man's thing, I guess. And, you know, don't
get us wrong. There's certain roles that we all have in our community and our way of life. So this drum that I have here, you see it's a lot smaller than the one that was on the picture. My brother made this. He made this for my son. So this is my son's hand drum. And, you know, those bigger drums that we have, there's some teachings that, you know, say that, you know, that it's a man, you know, so sometimes we will have meals and feed that drum, and to have a certain respect for it and a reverence for that, because you take care of it, it'll take you places, you know. And, you know, anybody that sings, does this, you know, will attest that certainly you'll meet a lot of interesting people, take you all over the country, all over the world, you know. And, you know, you can apply that to anything you do, as long as you have some sort of respect and reverence for whatever you do, you know. Possibilities are limitless. So as far as the singing contest that happens at Pow-Wows, they will be judged on the appropriate song, depending on if it's for a what type of contest, originality, if it's their own song, timing. That's why I don't sing at contests. So. But, you know, those are just a few of the things, and there's some really amazing singers out there. So if you get a chance, an opportunity to look at Pow-Wows.com, any of the resources that my sister provided, you know, take a look at it. You know, it's amazing. It's beautiful. Love to share it. Love to see people enjoy it. And I guess with that, I just want to keep it as short as possible, because we just go all day about this. But so we're going to be singing a song, and hopefully they can come out and dance.
Yeah, I just want to add that I'm going to go out and I'm going to demonstrate a style of dancing, and it's unisex. Both men and women can dance this style that I'm dancing. So please come and join me while my brother sings.
So the song that I'll be singing is a friendship song, basically saying the Ho-Chunk people are calling you our friends.
Do you want to use the podium mic? Well, we're recording it too, so it's good to have the mic.
chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey chakara ho jagna hey no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no 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 hey chakara henege no yo hey chakara jagra hey no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey chakara ho jagra hey no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo hey henege no hey chakara henege no yo
A huge thank you again to Ann and Josh Thundercloud for the presentation and today. It was amazing to see. Thank you so much. We hope you can join us next week as we present our annual Manford Swazinski Humanitarian Service Award. Roberta Gassman is this year's recipient. So I hope you can join us next week. As we close our meeting, let's recite the four-way test together. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right, we're adjourned. Have a wonderful day.